So earlier, I was discussing the fact that for years now, I have been teaching that 911 or September 11th is actually 711 or 711. And the reverse symbolism is 117, like the Boston Marathon, the 117th marathon, the 117, or 711. And of course, when we think of 7-Eleven, we think of the convenience store that is known for having Arabs working there, which is why there are many jokes about Arabs working at 7-Eleven saying, "Welcome to 7-Eleven," or whatever they do. I found this video on the internet, which is absolutely horrible. Kids are in some school filming it, and there's an Arabic or an Indian kid in the class, and they're actually teasing him, making fun of him, and wanting him to say, "Welcome to 7-Eleven." So they freaking sat there and, tortured the poor child. Check it out.
They look like monkeys.
So you hate what kind of people?
I hate the fish.
No racist. I've never been racist before. But Depeche, go ahead and say welcome to 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. Welcome to 7-Eleven. May I take your order?
I mean, seriously, imagine if you were that poor kid. He looks like a good kid to me. Not having any racist or biased opinions of being a stupid American. The kid smiles, he's trying to be nice, he isn't torturing anybody, he's not being mean to anybody. And these kids sit there and torture him and tease him. I mean, that's going to make him want to do something mean and evil and get back at, people like that are teasing him. It's horrible, man. It's disgusting. You see, nobody takes the time to think that we're brainwashed that way. I mean, that's why the children, our youth in society, are reflecting what we have taught them and programmed to react and think and have opinions and judge people and all sorts of things from what we teach them. Okay? And obviously these kids are reflecting what is in society. And that is that 7-Elevens are known for having Indian or Arabic people working there. Now, we saw the brainwashing stereotyping in the film Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. So you see, already they're making you understand that an Arab or an Indian needs to be behind bars or in Guantanamo Bay being tortured. And of course, once again, they compare the 7-Eleven with the Indian or the Arab.
You tell us how to get to the highway from here?
Oh, dude, I got this. आप हमें बता सकते हैं कि यहाँ से हाईवे पे कैसे जाने का?
हाँ, हिंदी हो. You just try fucking with me one more time. Just try. Thank you. Come again.
Brainwashing our youth to be stupid and dumb and ignorant, and to tease people for no reason whatsoever. South Park is a perfect example of brainwashing. Of course, they have a good kid who's Jewish, and then they portray the Arab or the Indian person as being evil and mean. So the Jewish character Kyle is basically based upon the co-creator of South Park. His name is Matt Stone. He comes from Jewish descent.
Once again, a cartoon depicting the Muslim prophet Muhammad is set to air tonight on Family Guy.
Oh, Randy, hold me.
The news has already sparked a shockwave of protests throughout the Muslim world.
Oh, come on, people. You really think anybody's gonna be that pissed off about a cartoon?
Once again, bitter riots have started in the Middle East. This time, even more all over the Middle East, Muslims are burning American flags.
Now, of course, South Park is the downfall or the underworld of hell, the park of the devil, which is why they even have a whole episode dedicated to Satan or the devil. So the devil or Satan can be related to 7-Eleven or the 11-7, as in the book of Revelation. 11:7 states that the beast of the bottomless pit will wage war against them. So basically, the beast will kill them all. Simpsons is another perfect example of the mind control and perception of an Arab or an Indian. Again, working at a convenience store, the Quick E Mart, which is in reference to 7-Eleven. Notice how they have them dressed up as Indians or Arabs, and they're with the cow or the bull. So take a look at the 7-Eleven logo. This is the official logo and the official colors. The colors of orange, red, green, and white. You see, 7-Eleven is using the color symbolism of the Arab nations or the Middle East. So at the Quickie Mart, they have the Middle Eastern or the Indian worker or owner, and of course he wears the color symbolism of green, the yellow, orange, and even the black. So this color symbolism is not just some random coincidence. It's a predestined, planned mind control device. Notice how they have him on top of the building with a gun. And everyone knows that 7-Elevens or convenience stores like Circle K, for example, as well, are known for getting robbed. So now that you understand the color symbolism and how it's used for mind control, you'll understand why in South Park, Kyle is wearing the orange and the green, mimicking the Indian or the Arabic nation flag. And I also thought this was kind of strange about 7-Eleven. Remember I was telling you about South Park and what it represents? The underworld or hell? Well, 7-Eleven, before it was known as 7-Eleven, was known as the Southland Corporation. Now, of course, originally 7-Eleven was known as the Totem, as in a totem pole, which is an idol that is a symbolic representation of their ancestry or their gods, their mystic past. So Circle K or the Circle 11, the 7-Eleven, or 7-Eleven itself, the convenience stores, are known for having Middle Eastern people working there, so the brainwashing and the association with Middle East is there, whether we realize it or not. So that's why I just thought it was absolutely funny as hell that I was just telling everyone about the 7-Eleven and the 117, and then what do you hear on the news about the Boston terrorists? They were at 7-Eleven. So it's another brainwashing tactic to correlate and relate the Middle Easterns with 7-Eleven and of course the Boston bombings. So right when I heard about the Boston bombing, I knew right away, without question, that eventually they were going to blame a Middle Eastern, a terrorist. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. They're blaming a Middle Eastern terrorist. And of course, there is a YouTube channel that they want us to think that he actually owned. And it's all about being a Muslim and believing in Allah. So again, the mind control and making us think that the evil Muslim is to blame. Both of his parents were interviewed, and both of them say without question that he was framed. Now the plot thickens as we find the mother says that their children were actually followed by the FBI. They knew who they were, so it isn't like they're just some random terrorists that attacked one day. The FBI had contact with them and knew them. And this is the most mind-blowing thing of it all. Everything I've been talking about, the 7-Eleven, September 11th, 911, 711, and then they release and let us know that this guy, the terrorist, he became a citizen on September 11th? Are you kidding me? I mean, this shit is unbelievable, straight from the movies. Like the Matrix film. when the passport said September 11th on it. So there's a lot of 911 and the 711 and 117 symbolism out there, but you have to have eyes to see it. So keep in mind that this Boston bombing terrorist attack was the first attack on America since 911 or 711. And yes, I do mean bombs. Anyone that does any research will know that there was definitely bombs used on September 11th. Now, if you know your Bible, you'll know that Jesus was born on one of the equinoxes, either in spring or autumn. Thus, people say Jesus was born on September 11th. Thus, Rosh Hashanah is the head of the year, or the days of awe, the days of judgment. So the equinoxes mark a time of balance. Thus, the house of Libra, which has the balancing scales. It's the time of judgment when the world or the season goes to the underworld during wintertime, which is why the ancient Egyptians would actually judge a person's heart when they went to the underworld against an ostrich feather. And of course, the Jewish Colonization Association began on September 11th, 1891. So anyway, if you do a little research, you'll find that 7-Eleven has been around for a long time. In fact, the Egyptian pyramids are built to a ratio of 7-11. And they were known as step pyramids, of course. And this is why in your house you will find the ratio of the steps that are 7-11. Now, if you've watched my movies in the past, then you'll know that I always talk about the black and the white, the two bipolar opposites of life and death. So this is why a police car is both black and white, and why they dress up a criminal in the black and white stripes. Now, I expose this black and white symbolism with the cars in the JFK assassination. The black and white cars when they assassinated Tupac. And the black and white symbolism of the vehicles on the fake attack of the Dutch Queen. And of course, during the Dark Knight Rises massacre, they also had the symbolism of the white and black cars. Now, of course, one of the most famous black and white color symbolism can be found with the assassination of Princess Diana. So we also find the Illuminati black and white symbolism in the disaster of the Titanic, which I'll be getting back to a little later. So what are the chances that during the Boston Marathon bombing, the terrorists are related to the black and the white? The black hat and the white hat, which of course are polar opposites of each other, facing in opposite directions. And not only were their hats black and white, but the black and white symbolism continues with the cars. They had a light-colored gray car, or white, and the black Mercedes, once again, the black and the white. So we know that this is just an Illuminati staged event, Illuminati ritual, actually. In part 3, I'll be getting into a lot more esoteric wisdom, but just wanted to end this part 2 with the Illuminati is crazy if they don't think that people will eventually catch on to their tricks. I mean, and leaving little signs behind with things like how the terrorist was a citizen of the United States on September 11th, of all things.